Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We go straight to some breaking news here.
Still, at the moment, it is just press reports. Well, presumably the Pentagon, or certainly the intelligence community.
We've got breaking news here.
Within the
Russia
United States,
attacked into...
know more about it, but at this moment, there's no considered response. We know that...
into Europe, into Poland, and we're going to bring it to you right now. So this is a very, very important information coming into us right now. Here we are.
Russian missile strikes across Ukraine today, whether this strayed across the border. So the exact circumstances clearly being examined as we talk, but those reports that 2 people have been killed. Let's get the latest from our Europe correspondent, Siobhan Robbins, who's in Berlin at the moment. And more information, a little bit scarce at the moment. Siobhan, have you got any more on precisely what the circumstances are, first of all?
Well, that's what the ongoing investigation is now looking at. We understand that firefighters are at the scene at this village on the border with Ukraine in Poland. The village is called Shevardov. We understand from local media reports that 2 people have died after missiles hit grain silos. What we don't know really is, as you say, was this a deliberate attack on Poland, or was this because of this barrage of missiles which have been hammering Ukraine today? So investigations still going on. We know that the Prime Minister has called this emergency meeting in Poland where he'll be talking to his defence experts. Also, the Pentagon confirming that they are looking into these reports. But I think the big question now will be, what will the NATO response be? And that, of course, will all depend on what we find out about these missiles that have hit. Were they deliberately targeting Poland or not? But we do know, of course, that Poland is a member of NATO. And we also know, of course, that very important clause in the NATO agreement that if someone who is part of NATO is attacked, then other NATO members will come to their defence. We're not at that point at the moment. As I say, we are still investigating. They are still investigating what has happened, but a very serious point in this conflict.
OK, Siobhan, thanks for the update. We'll be back with you as more information emerges. But that issue, the key issue here is, of course, that Poland is a NATO member. So on that subject, let's talk to Fabrice Potier.
If you've just joined us, I'm Martyn Lucas, the investor. We are trading and investing, but of course, this is very, very important. All Europe and all NATO countries are protected, and the red line was you do not attack a NATO member. It may be a stray missile, it may be shot down. 22 has just said they think it was a missile shot down by Ukraine. However, this is what happens when you go to war. This is what happens when you fire right on the border. All of a sudden, there's a mistake, it goes too far, and then do we act? And this basically is an attack now on the whole of NATO. If it can be proved that it was intentional, I don't know where we go from here. This could be a very black day indeed. So we're focusing on this as well as our shares and investing today. But this is huge news today.
I think here there's enough ground for triggering what is just below Article 5, which is Article 4, which is basically Poland asking all the NATO members to come to the NATO headquarters and to consult each other, to assess the threat and to take concrete actions, which can be defensive, not going after Russia, but augmenting mostly Poland's air defense, and obviously also augmenting Ukraine's air defense, because Ukraine is de facto the first line of defense of the alliance.
I'm bringing this information to you from Sky News. It's straight facts, unbiased. There's no political slant. It's just what I listen to, the BBC and Sky News. That's where I'm getting my source from.
In Ukraine today, and whether one of the missiles went off course.
Yes, exactly. But I think it's enough to show, if it's incidental, indeed, it's enough to show that Poland is exposed to a very high level to the consequences of Russia's war in Ukraine. And again, I think there's enough ground here, but we'll have to see what the Polish government says after their National Security Committee. There's enough ground in principle for Poland as a NATO member to trigger Article 4 and ask the other NATO members to consult each other, assess the threat and take necessary actions.
OK, that's interesting. So Article 4. Now, Article 5, as you described to us there, Fabrice Potier, is then the military response. to get to that level, presumably there are many attempts to de-escalate the situation, even if it's decided to trigger Article 5, i.e. there will be discussions taking place with Russia at this point.
What's your thoughts in the live chat? Do you think this is now the beginning of the end? World War III? It's an attack on NATO. We're supposed to attack back now. What do you think?
But I think what is clear is NATO needs to mark very clearly its red line on the fact that the NATO territory is untouchable. And since it has happened, even by if it's by accident, I think NATO needs to take some form of action, again, if even defensive action, to show that this cannot occur. And I think there's even an argument to actually push back on potential Russian interfering in NATO air space or maritime exclusive zone as a way to show, again, to remind the Russians that they cannot cross this line, even in an intended way.
OK, I'm sorry we lost a little bit of what you were saying there, Fabrice Potier, but we got the majority of it. But perhaps you can address some of those points again, but I just want to move it forward a little bit because, of course, Poland is incredibly important when it comes to this.
Just to recap, some people are now asking what is going on. Russia have fired a missile, allegedly killing 2 people on the border of Ukraine in Poland. Poland is a NATO member, and the rules are attack on a NATO member is an attack on all, and then they launch an attack back to Russia. It may have been shot down by a Ukrainian missile. We don't know right now. There's all sorts of things happening, but at the end of the day, a Russian missile has landed in Russia. That is the red line. That is the red line. They've stepped over the line. Now we see what happens.
The Polish territory to the Ukrainian border as a legitimate target. But however, until now, at least, they had toed the line. They had not gone further, and they had been basically unwilling to escalate with NATO. And I think that was also a result of NATO's very firm position and statement as to the fact that there would be a NATO collective response. However, again, we don't know if it's intentional or not. The recent, the 2 missiles or rockets that have killed some Polish citizens. But clearly, again, there is a ground for a consultation to assess the level of the threat and to have appropriate defensive response.
And just lastly, in terms of the de-escalation I mentioned, well, of course, you know, when missiles are flying around in a military conflict, well, then things can go wrong. And we remember the NATO actions back at the end of the last century, in 1999, against Serbia concerning Kosovo, and the NATO strike, accidental strike on the Chinese embassy in Belgrade.
Yes, but in that case, you cannot draw.
If you've just joined us, we are keeping our eye on this breaking story. Russia fire into Poland. Was it a mistake? Was it a shot down missile? However, it's a NATO country. It has killed 2 Polish people and 2 Polish citizens. And this is the red line. An attack on one NATO country is an attack on all and demands an immediate response. So this is not good at all. This is the red line. So we are going to keep our eye on this. We've got the news running in the background. We are, of course, trading, but we are also investing, but we are also covering the breaking news, which affects the markets and affects investment and major headlines like this. So there we go. Andrew Grady. Good evening, Andrew Grady, one of our new members. I think you joined yesterday. You got a blue badge. That will turn green soon, then yellow, then gold, then red. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you. Russia will blame Ukraine for altering the missile trajectory, of course. There'll be all kinds of stuff now. But there we go. We are covering this breaking news. My portfolio is 47,671. What's happening best soft? What we are covering this afternoon is some breaking news. Russia have fired into Poland, a NATO country.
So I would think that yes, sadly it happens, but it happens even more when you strike.
If we get some breaking news, we get any more information, we shall bring it to you. What we're talking about now is they're talking about it's landed in Poland. It could have been an accident, could have been shot down. However, an attack on NATO is an attack on all countries. So we shall see what happens next. Any more information, I'll bring it to you.
At NATO, and you're watching Sky News tonight. Well, we're taking a short break, but when we come back, plenty more on the situation. We've got all our teams trying to get the very latest on what exactly has happened. These reports of a missile strike, a Russian missile striking a village across the border in Poland, killing 2 people. We'll have the latest.
There we go. And as soon as we get the information, any further information, we will bring it to you. Okay. Market has shrugged it off. Yeah, nothing has happened on the markets yet. We've carried on as normal. The portfolio is up 2.65. The S&P 500 is up 0.68 today on my VU. Virgin Galactic, everything's up again. Virgin Orbit is going exactly the way I wanted it. Exactly the way I wanted it. 268. This is very, very important for the future military and technologies. I'm waiting for, I've got a buy here for 268. So you never know. It did drop and recover. Yes, it did drop and then it recovered. But anyway, Tesla is up today, 1.86. Rivian is also up today. Everything's looking very, very strong. To be fair, the markets dropped before the announcement about the war, about the missile came out. The missile came after the drop. So I want to be absolutely clear, the market did not react downwards. This is a typical thing that happens after a morning rally, sell off in the afternoon. So we want to be absolutely clear about that. The markets did not rally down or did not drop because of the missile. Okay, absolutely clear. I've been here the full time watching everything live and that was not the case. I want to be absolutely clear on that. Okay. So the markets did not react downward because of the missile. They were already trending down before. Okay, J&J is down 0.21 today, but rising back up again. Google is up. I'm just $55 out of the money at the moment, rising again. Microsoft, I'm up today 0.42. No one really likes NATO. Well, I'm an Englishman and I do. NATO is very, very important to the security of Europe. Very, very, very important. And as 22 said, if it wasn't for NATO, we wouldn't be here. NATO is very, very important. It brings countries together and protects countries. And it's very, very important. Meta, I'm up now today, 1%. Making money on Meta, 85% down, and now I'm up. SoFi Technologies, we're up today, 1.37. IonQ had a great morning, dropped off, and then rallying again. This look, came at 11 o'clock, way before the missile landed in Poland, all right? Be absolutely clear about that. Walmart, good earnings, has been up all day. Very, very nice indeed. I'm up 21% now overall on Walmart. Target, we report in the morning. Virgin Orbit, yep, it's doing exactly what I predicted it would do. Remember I said the stock doesn't respect itself. Remember I said that the stock won't continue rising. It will just sell off again. And this is an important stock to own for what's going on right now in Europe. It's worth having for that as well as the satellites. So it's core business. There's more technologies that it could deploy. Anyway, this is good. This is exactly what I anticipated happening, dropping down to 268. Okay, let's go back to the news a minute. Let me just check if there's anything breaking for you right now. 2 people. Details still pretty sketchy, but Polish media have reported that, as I say, 2 people died after a projectile, as it's described, struck an area where grain was drying in a Polish village very close to the border with Ukraine. Let's see what more. Siobhan Robbins, our Europe correspondent, has learned. She joins us now from Berlin. What are you hearing, Siobhan?
Yes, as you say, lots of information coming in. Unfortunately, lots of it at the moment is unconfirmed, but we understand from reports that it's the village of Shevardov, which is near the Ukrainian border, where these missiles have hit. as you say, hitting grain stores, reports that 2 people have died. The Pentagon saying they're looking into this. We also understand that the Polish Prime Minister has called an emergency meeting with his defence chiefs. He's discussing what's been going on there as well. We're getting reaction from across Europe. This has been tweeted by the Latvian Defence Minister. My condolences to our Polish brothers in arms. Criminal Russian regime fired missiles which target not only Ukrainian citizens but also landed on NATO territory in Poland. Latvia stands fully with Polish friends and condemns this crime. So Latvia going further there, saying squarely that this was an act by the Russian regime where it fired missiles. What we don't know, and I think what's really important, is we don't know if this was deliberate or if this was because, as we know, hundreds, tens, up to hundreds of missiles have been fired at Ukrainian positions today, and whether one of those went over. I've been looking at social media coming out of Poland, some unconfirmed reports from reporters there that this is possibly some sort of parts of a missile rather than a direct hit. Again, we cannot confirm this, but I think what is really important now and what everyone is waiting for is how NATO is going to respond, what NATO is going to say, because of course Poland is a member of NATO, and so far it hadn't been hit by any Russian missiles since the conflict in Ukraine.
We will come back to that as soon as we get more information. I'm watching it all the time. I'm reading all the tickers. When we get any information whatsoever, more than what we've got now, I will bring it to you. So thank you for joining us here this afternoon, Martyn Lucas Investors. Martyn Lucas Investor. We are trading and investing and keeping our eye on breaking news in Europe now. Russia firing into Poland. Or was it a mistake? Or was it a part of a missile that was shot down? Because it's right on the border. Remember, if you're right on the border of a country, mistakes can happen, but that's what happens in war. You don't go to war because mistakes can happen and escalate things. Anyway, we shall see. The markets right now are okay. There was a drop, but it was before the missile. I want to be absolutely clear. The markets did drop before the missile, so we're the markets aren't reacting there at all. They were dropping because it was a mid-afternoon drop. That always happens, not always, but very often when we have a big bounce in the morning. We're rallying again now. They're not having any impact at all on the market. We'll return to where we were this morning, so everything's looking good. Virgin Orbit, very, very important for this security issue as well. So Virgin Orbit has plummeted today, or plummeted 345. It's gone exactly where I said it would. The stock doesn't own itself. It's really not a confident stock at all. It just goes up and down in the same range. So I keep buying it at this range and keep selling it at this range. I'm going to be buying more at 268 if it goes there, not paying a penny more for it. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, Tesla, how's Tesla reacting? Tesla is up 1.39, Rivian is up 1.77, Lucid is up 2%, all looking good. All looking good there. I was just checking the news for you. Arrival, looking good. Thank you very much indeed, Mike, for taking care of the nonsense in the chat. I don't think even nuclear war would do anything to this market, said 22. Oh my gosh, that's interesting. It did drop and recover. That was previously. Yes, it did, but that not on the news of the missile. It didn't. All right, Amazon is up 0.39. Apple is up 1.3. Hello, Martin, Baron Hanley. Welcome to you. So what we do with ourselves? So what should we do with ourselves and each other? Absolutely nothing. Bill, we carry on as normal. We carry on. We're here every day, and we carry on as normal. Hello, Martin. Welcome to our live show this afternoon. We are covering the breaking news as well in Poland and Ukraine. Time to trim. Let's have a little look. Well, we are now at 2.23. We touched 49,000 today. Many of you thought 62% has cut a lot of jobs. That's good news for Amazon. Not good news for employees, but good news for Amazon. Also good news for the Fed. We want to bring bring the workforce down. That's what it's all about. But not good for you, not good for the individuals, of course. But it's good for the stock market and good for Amazon. Okay. I thought we take care of yourself and each other. We do. We do take care of ourselves and each other. Absolutely right. Robinhood is up today 6.75. That's very, very nice. I'm still out of the money by 2.94, but much, much better. McDonald's is down today. Coca-Cola is down today. J&J is down today very slightly, very slight numbers. Google is up today, looking very, very good. And one of the big stories is Meta. Meta, I'm now making profit on Meta. Incredible, really, when you think about it. But there it is. That's the information there. I want to share this with you as well. Here's some information just coming in. At least 2 dead after Russian missile land in NATO state Poland on Ukraine border. This is the photograph just come in. There you go. You can see it there. And this is the missile. This is what's happened. 2 people are dead. Looks like a tractor there. Looks like a tractor, like a farmland or something like that. 2 people have been killed in Poland after 2 stray Russian rockets landed near the border of Ukraine. So we'll be keeping you up to date with that as the developments come in. I'll be bringing that to you. Okay. Let's go back to our trades right now and keep our eye on the markets. Market is always down these days. Always down. What do you mean by that? My overall portfolio right now is up 2.07. So actually we're up just under 30% over the last 4 days of my portfolio. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And a quick sip of tea. Wouldn't put it past Ukraine or the Americans been pushing an agenda for months. Bush 1889's just made a comment like that. I'm not fully aware. I'm not really sure what your point is. If you please make it again. Meta is rising again. Meta is going up again to up 2.37. What do you think about Nvidia? I like graphics cards. Any good for a buy? I'm not really. I don't really find those stocks that good, to be honest. It interests me. They don't do anything proprietary. Someone else could do what they do. Other companies could replace them. So I like companies that do something that no one else does. So Nvidia, it's been beaten up recently. I don't know. I'm open, Andrew Grady. I'm open. I think there's better opportunities in the market. There's better things that can make more money. That's my thought on it. I think there's better opportunities out there. If I didn't, I'd be in it myself, but I don't. Anyway, we're watching the markets right now. Let's look at our crypto as well. If we get any more breaking news, I will bring it to you. We haven't got anything new yet to bring you. The journalists are on the ground trying to find information. Ethereum is up today, 0.26. Bitcoin is up 0.81. Thank you. You're very welcome. We got a lot of people that really into that sort of thing, but not me. It's not. I think there's better opportunities, right? I mean, why do you buy a stock? You buy it because you want to make money, right? You're not married to it. It's not like you care about the stock so much. I wouldn't have thought. It's about what can make me the most money with the least risk, and you balance those things up. BSV slightly up today. No, slightly down today, 1%, I apologise. Enphase Energy up 1.43. Tilray had a little rally this morning, just dying away a little bit. We've got 7 minutes to go before the close. Canoe, Gove, I've got an order placed at Gove. It's down 37%. I'm trying to buy it for 120. Let's go back to Vorb because I'm trying to buy it at 268. 268. I'm not going to pay any more than that. It bounces off that. I am up 8,100 in a week, about 10%. Congratulations, mate. Congratulations. That's very, 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 very nice indeed. Okay. There's an hour. There's an hour yet, Martin. Oh, yes, of course. I went early. I forgot I went so early. Yeah, you're right. There's an hour left yet. Oh, I was thinking the market's about to close. No, I'm gone early, haven't I? That's why there's not that many people in. Now it makes sense. Yes, that's what's thrown everybody. I went early. I went early today because of the breaking news. You're absolutely right. Thank you, 22. Yeah. Now that makes sense. Okay. Let's have a little look. See how many people are with me. We got quite a good audience. Actually, we've got quite a good audience. Let's have a little look. Let's have a quick look. Now, I tell you what we do need, though. I've just noticed you're all absorbed by what's happening in Russia and Ukraine and so on. Oh, hello! We've got somebody from Ukraine. Let me put them on the screen. Today they captured Kiev. I saw how our air defense works right from the window of my apartment. Today they captured Kiev. Right, this is breaking news. Let me clarify who this is. Are you in Kiev? Okay. Breaking news here on Martyn Lucas Investor. We've got somebody come into my chat who I think is from Ukraine. And the message on the screen is from our friend here in Ukraine. Today they captured Kiev. I saw how air defenses work right from the windows of my apartment. Look at this. This has just come in on our live show this afternoon. So I want to clarify this person here. Are you Ukrainian? Are you in Ukraine now? Are you in a safe place? And are you able to call in? Are you able to call in? This is a live show, and we are honored to have you here. Yes, I am from Ukraine. Are you the person that I sung to? You were in your bomb shelter. I think that may be you. Elon Musk sent in Starlinks, and a few months ago I was singing, entertaining the people in Ukraine, trying to give them some hope and some music, and a number of people came in while they were being bombed and attacked. It was awful, and I was able to be there with them. And this could be that person. I'm not 100% certain. Yes, I am from Ukraine. We've got some more breaking news. If you would like to call in, if I give you the link, are you in a safe place and are you able to call in today? Everything is fine. My family is alive. That's good. Very pleased to hear that. How do you feel right now about what's going on? Do you feel that Ukraine is winning the war? Do you feel like you're making progress? Our family are saying stay safe. Here's Mike. He is saying keep safe to you. A lot of love coming to you. We've got some breaking news, so please stick with us if you're able to stick with us. When you say they've taken Kiev, do you mean Russia are in Kiev? What do you mean by that? I would love you to be able to come back. And while you're sorting yourself out to do that, let's go back to some breaking news again. Here we go. Let's have a listen in.
Polish Prime Minister is currently holding an emergency meeting. We'll find out more reaction from him and from NATO as the night goes on.
All right, Siobhan, thank you very much indeed. Siobhan Robbins there in Berlin. And coming up at 8 o'clock, then we will just have plenty more on that. Those reports, the two people.
There we go. We'll bring you more news as we get it. But going back to our friends here, we've got someone here on the line calling in from Kiev. And let me open up the broadcast lounge and let me give you the opportunity to call in. Okay, let me give you the link. I don't know if you're able to use Discord, and we'd love you to call in live to the show. So let me give you the Discord link. We'd love to hear from you. Many people here are supporting you in Ukraine. We're with you every day. Here is my Discord link in the chat. If you can get into Discord, come into the Welcome All channel, and I will make you a member so you can call in. It's very, very easy. If you can get into Discord, I'm looking out for you in the Welcome All channel. If you're able to do that, you can call in to the show. You can be on via video or just an audio call. We'd love to hear from you. This is the message we've got on screen now. We will win. It's just a matter of time. Yes, we all believe that here as well. I'm in the United Kingdom. I'm in the US, even though I'm from England, but we all believe that too. Tell us what it's like, a day-to-day life for you in Ukraine right now. What are things like for you right now? For those of you who just tuned in, we've got a friend here calling in from Ukraine. And we are honored to have a friend here from Ukraine, from Kiev. And I just learned, they just told us that they have seen attacks into Kiev today. I've got a message here from Max H. Hopefully Russia does not resort to nukes. Indeed. So I'm hoping that we might get our friend here from Ukraine. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name. To call in via Discord. I've given them the link, and hopefully they will call in. We are keeping an eye on the news. We've got friends now joining us on TikTok as well. Welcome to all of you on TikTok. We've got a guest here who has just called in from Ukraine, and we're hoping to get them on the show. I think it's a person who's been here before while I was entertaining and singing my music to families in a bomb shelter in Kiev. Anyway, we are waiting to see if our friend can either call in or come back to us. Anyway, if you've just tuned in, Andrew Grady says, I doubt it, mutually assured destruction. Let's go back to some more breaking news. Well, we have our guest here from Ukraine calling in. Okay, here we go. More information here.
NATO member killing 2 people.
When it comes to our security commitments and Article 5, we've been crystal clear that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
There we go. That's what we're concerned about, every inch of NATO territory. So now we have a situation where Russia have fired missiles into Poland. 2 Polish citizens are now dead. And you've heard there from the US, the UK, and everyone is exactly the same. Attack on one is attack on all. If you've just tuned in, we are keeping our eye on the news coming out of Poland and Ukraine. And we also have a guest. We had a guest from Ukraine here just some moments ago, and we're hoping to see them come into Discord so they can call in. This is the caller we had just some moments ago. And I can't pronounce that name. If anybody could, please call and tell me. They said, we will win. It's just a matter of time. And everything is fine. My family is alive. Yes, I am from Ukraine. And today they captured Kiev. I saw how air defenses works right from the windows of my apartment. There we go. Look at that. This is live happening on our show here this afternoon. Stay safe, everyone. Nappy Head TV is here. Stephen Rowe is here. A lot of friends. Right, okay. We're getting some information back from our friend. Martin, I need your help. We are stuck on the FTX exchange. We have tokenized shares and we cannot find out anything about it. How can they be exchanged? If you could find out something, since FTX Switzerland, we cannot find out anything, would be grateful to you. Well, I'm sorry to say that FTX, all the money in FTX has gone. We are going to keep in contact with you and see how we may help you. This is terrible news. I know a lot of people in Ukraine had money on the FTX platform. This is doubly awful for those people. So we're going to keep with you. We've got some breaking news coming in again from United States.
Don't have any information to corroborate them at this time, so I don't want to speculate or get into hypotheticals. When it comes to our security commitments and Article 5, we've been crystal clear that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
Well, that's the Pentagon. Let's go now. This is the State Department also addressing that missile strike.
The reports or any of the details at this time, but I can assure you we will determine what happened and what appropriate next steps would be. But I don't have anything additional to offer.
Can we get any of our crypto experts here today? We've got Ali Tisro, we've got Paul B, several here today. Could we get some help for our friend here from Ukraine? Martin, I need your help. We are stuck on the FTX exchange. We have tokenized shares and we cannot find out anything about it. How can they be exchanged? If you could find out something about this. Since Switzerland, we cannot find out anything. Now, is this your family, or is it because this is what I'm prepared to do. This is what I'm prepared to do just on the basis of what you have said to us here. Obviously, you've got your money tied up in FTX. What I'm happy to do is an online concert to raise funds for you and your friends in Ukraine. I would go online. I think you were there when I was singing before. Invite all my audience and all my friends to tune in and make requests for songs, and the money can go directly to you, if that helps. Does that help you at all? What do you need? And what is your situation? And would that help if we did a fundraiser for you? How does that help at all, if at all? Let me know. Good evening, everyone, says Crag. Sam Bankman-Fried hopefully goes to jail. I'm sure he will. Sorry, it's all gone. Sam is playing video games in Bahamas. It sucks. No good answer to that right now, Martin. He's not very good. Uzi Maki, how are you, Uzi? He ran away a few years ago when it got hot. So let's have a listen in. If anyone can support this conversation that I'm having here. Let's see if my friend from Ukraine has been able to call in on Discord yet. It takes 10 minutes to get through security. Here is the Discord channel. There it is. If you can get into Discord, come into the Welcome All. If someone could look out, please, to see if our friend has come into Welcome All, we'll be able to put them straight into the chat. Let's go back to the breaking news. We have, again, if you've just tuned in, we're covering the war in Ukraine and Poland. We also have somebody phoning in from Ukraine, and they've lost their money on FTX, and we're trying our very best to be of assistance right now to raise money or get information. So we're looking at that right now.
In Ukraine, but across the world as well. As you guys saw in response to President Zelensky's speech at the G20, what President Putin did was he met Ukraine with another round of cruel attacks that killed civilians and destroyed infrastructure. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to stand with the government and the people of Ukraine who have stayed strong in the face of Russia's brutal and needless onslaught for months, and we will continue to support Ukraine. Camilla.
When you say you're working with the Polish government and allies and partners, can you confirm that this department's speaking to Ukrainian officials and trying to get more insight from them as to what this might have been and whether or not they have responded at all?
Camilla, we're talking to a range of partners. If
you've just tuned in, we are covering the war in Ukraine. Poland have been attacked, and we've got a guest here phoning in from Ukraine. and we're trying to solve their problem. We've offered to do a fundraiser event to raise funds because they've lost their money in FTX. This is our friend from Ukraine. Tokenized shares are backed by real shares, and they are stored by the broker in our name in Switzerland. They have not burned down and have not gone anywhere. Let's have a look. Paul, I've got a Paul in the chat. This is not clickbait. We have somebody phoning in here from Ukraine. This is not clickbait at all. I am sharing you the news. This is exactly as it's happening. This is not clickbait at all.
Certain media, I quoted U.S.
We are trying to support our friends in Ukraine
on their story.
And bring you the news as it updates. Okay. TLRY. Tilray. Why are you asking about Tilray? I don't think Poland have been attacked, Martin. No. We need to be clear about this. Stephen Rose says, I don't think Poland have been attacked. It's just an idiot has programmed or controlled the missiles wrong. It doesn't matter. When you go to war, mistakes happen, things happen. It's very dangerous, very risky. You have a border of a country. If you are firing missiles near the border of the country, intentionally or unintentionally, if a bomb goes over the border and kills people, you have attacked the next country. That is the reality and the price you pay if you are at war. You may not have done it intentionally. It may not have been your thought process. However, if you are dropping bombs into a country and you go over the line because you are on the border, then that is an act of war on that country. And if you are a member of NATO, attack on one is an attack on all. That is the facts. We are clarifying whether it was fragments of a missile that Ukraine shot down. That has not been verified. So let's start World War III then. No, that's not what I am saying at all. I'm just bringing you the news as they are. Paul, you're just fear-mongering for views. No, I am not. This channel is always about bringing the truth, the honest truth as it happens. There you go. You've been timed out now. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking care of that. We're not going to have idiots here. Because MIL tokenized shares are Tilray. Because MLI tokenized shares are Tilray. Tokenized shares of... I'm not familiar with this. I'm hoping that we can get Ali Tisro. Can somebody message Ali Tisro in Discord? Try and get Ali Tisro into the chat. You never know. You never know. Somebody might have some information here. Did you manage to get into Discord? We are waiting for you. You can call in. You can have your say live on the show. There is the Discord link. Come on in and we can talk to you and we can try and help. I've offered to do a fundraiser if you need funds because you've lost all your money because of FTX. I'm more than happy to provide a free concert, music concert to raise funds for you and your family if that's what's needed. But all you've got to do is call in. And I say all. That might be very difficult right now. I don't know. Here we go. 22 seems to understand what you're saying. Tokenized shares should be safe unless the guy was a complete crook. We'll have to wait for the administration to sort the mess out. There you go. That's from 22. You might be okay with that. It's nothing that I know about. So I'm trying to get people that can help you to offer their support to you. All right. Okay. Let's go back. We've got some more news breaking right now. Here we go.
Anything else?
One last question on this. I know you don't want to get ahead of this, but Russia's already trying to spin the situation here with the defense minister putting out a short statement saying that
the reports of Russian missiles landing in Poland are, quote, a deliberate provocation aimed to escalate the situation. Do you have a response to what they're saying about this?
Well, the United States is certainly not trying to escalate or incite the situation at all. And like I said, we have seen these same reports that you all have, and we are working with the Polish government to gather more information. And we are not at a point where we can confirm some of these reports that we are seeing. And that's why I'm telling you that we will determine what exactly has transpired, and we will
There we go. We've got no confirmed information yet, so we're not going to spread false information. We're going to keep our eye on it. We're going to see what's going on. How it's affect the markets is nothing at all. It has no effect on the markets. In fact, we are up, and we're continually going up at the moment. So there we go. For those of you who've just joined in, we do have a friend here from Ukraine just phoned in, sent a message into the chat. This person here just reported to me that, one, they've lost all their money on the FD exchange. That has happened. But also, they saw from their window today air defense working right from my window of my apartment. Today they captured Kiev. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you mean by they captured Kiev? Are you still on the line? Can you come back to us and clarify exactly what you mean by that? But anyway, welcome to our broadcast this afternoon. We are keeping an eye on the news for you. We will bring it to you as we get it. Now, I would like to be able to spread this message and involve more people who want to call in and be part of it. So I would like everyone, if you wouldn't mind, to smash the like button, if you wouldn't mind. We've got 30 people watching and only 18 likes. So please, if you could, hit the thumbs up button. What it will do is it will share this video to more people. So if you could do that, if you've just come on in, I have offered to do a fundraiser concert for our friend in Ukraine, if that would be of help. I have not heard back yet, but please click subscribe and ring the bell and smash the like. There we go, 18, 19, 20. We should be at 30 likes. We're at 20. If everyone could smash the like button, that would be very, very helpful indeed. Okay, thank you very much for that. Over there on TikTok, if you want to be part of our main show today and you'd like to offer assistance today and talk to our friend from Ukraine, hear what's going on, join us on youtube.com/at Martyn Lucas Investor. Same name as this channel, links in the profile. Come and join us live on YouTube. This is my YouTube broadcast you are watching here. Okay, let's have a little look here. Get your crypto off exchanges, please. Why would you trust an exchange to hold your private keys? Get it off. Ledgers only make coins safe. Yep, at least a trust wallet. There you go. I've got a ledger. This is a ledger. This is what you need. This is what our friend in Ukraine needed. I'm trying to focus on that. It might not focus because my face is in the way. There you go. This is a ledger. This is where my crypto will sit. It doesn't actually sit there at the moment. I've still not had a chance to get round to it because I'm always live on this show and never get a chance to do my own private things, but I need to. Anyway. Or at least a soft wallet, which is an online wallet, a trust wallet. At least do that. You can do that very, very easy. It's very, very simple to do. I've got videos explaining how you do that. Do you think Article 5 will be activated? Russia denied hitting Poland. Well, obviously, they are looking into it now. And yes, Article 5 will be activated 100%. 100% if it is proved that it's a missile from Russia. If it was a mistake, it still counts. I know this sounds terrible. You're all going, well, why on earth would we start World War III? Well, this is what happens. This is what happens when you play games with countries and fire bombs all over the place. Eventually, there's a mistake, and that's the reality we are in right now. We are listening into the news and bringing it to you live.
From our correspondent, Mark Stone there. And Mark more or less summed up there the State Department response. I mean, this is clearly reverberating around Washington, reverberating around NATO capitals, reverberating around the G20 as well. But first and foremost is to establish the facts.
Yes, it was always the big fear that either intentionally or by accident a Russian missile would stray into NATO territory, and then what would the NATO response be? I think that was an attempt that we just saw over the past 10 minutes by a State Department spokesman to tread water while his superiors work out precisely what happened and work out what the response will be. Part of the problem, I think, from an American perspective, is that the US President Joe Biden is in Indonesia at the moment. It's the middle of the night there, 3 a.m. There. I imagine, but I don't know, that this would be one of those knock on the bedroom door, wake up moments for President Biden. They would want to let him know that this has happened, not least because he, more than anyone else, has said so many times that the United States and NATO would defend every inch of its territory. Now, this missile appears to have struck in a Polish village due north of Ukraine's third city of Lviv in the far west of the country. It's almost happened a number of times before. I remember when I was there a few months ago, there was a Ukrainian missile depot that is to the west of Lviv that the Russians managed accurately to hit. Now, was this a case of a missile misfiring and going unintentionally over into Poland, into NATO territory? Or was it a test by the Russians? Either way, it is certainly now a test for NATO, a test for the West in terms of how they respond. Remember that NATO has, and primarily the Americans, have been channeling huge numbers of weapons over the border from Poland into Ukraine, and it may well become clear that some of those weapons were coming over the border near or around the village that was hit. So all these details will become clear over the course of the next few hours, I would imagine. President Biden, as I say, is in Indonesia, but he's due to fly back to the United States over the next 12 hours, a very long journey. But we're told from officials that there is no expectation that he will return early, that his plan is to return as scheduled. But this is certainly a test for NATO in terms of how it responds to yes, one missile, but 2 people dead, and crucially on NATO soil.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Mark Stone there for us.
There we go. As we get that confirmation, we will bring to you what exactly is happening. For those of you just tuned in, good afternoon. Welcome to our channel. Please like this video and share it with your friends. We've got a guest who's just phoned in, or at least in the live chat right now, from Ukraine itself. They are stuck with their money in FTX. They want my help. We're trying to get some help for them. If anyone could help with this. They've got tokenized shares of Tilray that have all gone missing because of FTX. That's their money they were holding. And I've offered to do a fundraiser for them. If they come back to me, I'm here to help. This is our friend here witnessing today air defenses in Kiev out of their window. That's happening live today on the show. We've also got the news as it comes in for you. Thank you, Baron. Thank you ever so much. Yes, Article 5 is all about collective defense. If one NATO country is attacked, all NATO countries will defend and attack back. And that is very, very serious indeed. So even if it was a shot down missile, even if it was an accident, that's still an attack on Poland. You can't go around bombing countries. And if you do it right on the edge, as you heard from that Sky reporter, there's been many, many misses. Look how many times they've nearly hit the nuclear power station. If you keep doing it, if you keep behaving this way, at some point it's going to escalate. And that's where we are right now. Now, the markets aren't reacting badly to this at all. You can see today my portfolio is up over the month 16.64. Over the last 4 days, it's actually 30%. But anyway, looking good here. At the moment, markets aren't reacting in any way. They didn't react to the news when it broke, and they haven't reacted yet. No reaction from the markets whatsoever. There we go. Now Russia are finished. With that mistake, they won't want the world against them. War is finished soon, in my opinion. Now, Russia are finished. With that mistake, they won't want the world against them. War is finished soon. Well, we hope so. Russia should immediately now walk away from Ukraine. Immediately they should surrender, walk away. Well, not surrender, it's a fact. Retreat, because they're not under attack, are they? They're attacking another country. They need to retreat and get the heck out of Ukraine. That's probably the only way they can save themselves. Is there a percentage of funds I should leave in 212 in case of margin call? I'm pretty new. I have £300 in stocks and £60 unspent. Is there any number of funds I should leave in trading 212 in case of margin? If you are margin called, I'm presuming you are using margin. If you are margin called, then you just pay it off you got by the end of the day. So you can transfer money. You don't have to leave money there. But it doesn't do any harm to leave it there. I don't know what your situation is. Uninvested cash, you might be earning interest, but if you're using margin, you're probably not going to get. You're probably not going to get. Hang on, that doesn't make any sense. I just realised if you're using margin, you won't have any cash in your buying power because if you're using margin, it's because you've used all your cash. I've never heard of a brokerage. In fact, I know there isn't such a thing. You can't use margin until your cash is spent. So you can't have cash sitting in your account on a brokerage while using margin. You can't. You use your cash and then you go into borrowed money. You can't have borrowed money if you've got cash in the bank. That doesn't work that way. So Andrew Grady, I'm not sure by your question. It depends how much your margin you're using and what the leverage is. You agree, 22? You can? Are you sure about that? I'm pretty confident in that fact that you can't use margin with cash in your buying power when trading leveraged products. When trading leveraged products. Absolutely certain. Okay. When trading leveraged products, well, obviously I can't give financial advice. I can't see your account. I don't know what you've got there. But I can tell you that there are leveraged stocks that I can buy on my portfolio, and I can assure you that I would not be able to use margin while keeping cash in my buying power. I'm absolutely 100% certain of that. So Ian Jackson says, 212 trading, you get margin called with money still available. That's why I switched. That makes no sense to me at all why they would run a system like that. Yeah, that makes no sense. That's a really bad way of running it. You're not supposed to be using margin if you've got cash in the bank. That kind of defeats the point of it. So I don't know what. I've never used 212, so I can't comment, but that makes no sense to me. I traded Coinbase. I put 50 quid in. The price fell, and it all wiped out because I had no funds. Right. I can't comment on your brokerage, your portfolio, obviously, would be impossible. I do offer, if you are a gold member, you can have two 1-hour Zoom calls a month. One-on-one, you can share on the screen your account. I can talk to you about it. I can have a look at it if you want me to. We can discuss it one-on-one, private Zoom calls. But you need to be a gold member. You can always downgrade the following month. But that's the only way I can give you 2 hours a month, one-on-one calls, Zoom call, where we can talk about it and discuss together. So I do have that. But without looking at your account, without understanding what you've got there, I can't help. I'm terribly sorry. What I could suggest you do, Andrew, you are a member. Are you on Discord now? If you are on Discord now, you can talk to people in the general chat and somebody might be able to offer you their assistance. There is the Discord there. I don't know if you're already on, Andrew. I can upgrade your account so you can call and speak to people as a member. I think Cornwall needs Robinhood. It certainly does. And I can't wait to give it to you. Because when it does, I'll be able to offer you free stocks. But it'll come in time. Anyway, I don't know where our friend has gone from Ukraine. They're not here right now. Let's go to a very, very quick commercial break, and I'll be back in just a few moments' time with more news from Poland and Ukraine. So stick with us. I'll see you back in a couple of seconds. Here we go. Okay, we're back again with you right now. 47,707. We've got more breaking news now coming in, so let's have a quick look, see what's happening now. Here's Ukraine.
American, NATO, Western officials are trying to do in what back channels they have with Russia at the moment. In terms of the facts that we know that 2 people have died in an explosion in Poland, in what seems to be in a bit of farmland, a few kilometres from the border with Ukraine. We've seen pictures on social media of a very big crater that doesn't look like it was caused by an agricultural accident, with a tractor and some agricultural vehicle near it badly damaged, and we know that 2 people have died. Now, only one American...
This is the picture, this is the crater, this is the tractor, this is what we're talking about. What caused that? What caused that?
He says, or she says, missile. So at least one missile has landed far by Russia and landed in Poland. The Pentagon, though, is not confirming that. Says it can't confirm these reports, which is interesting because, as I understand, the American military has an ability to track pretty much any ballistic missile above a certain size that once it goes into the atmosphere, and therefore would have some kind of handle on where the missiles, many missiles that Russia was firing today, where they came from and where they went. But at the moment, the Pentagon is not saying it can confirm this, and as we heard there a few minutes ago, the State Department is being very careful as well. The official, as you were saying, says he sounds like a broken record. So what we're seeing is American officials buying time. They're buying time to try and work out what's going on down through these back channels, what they have, which have been damaged during this war, obviously. We know that William Burns, the CIA chief, has met with a Russian intelligence chief earlier this week in Turkey, in Istanbul. He may be trying to use that connection he made with the Russian intelligence chief. And obviously...
Breaking news, breaking news, as predicted, Virgin Orbit is now down to $2.90. I've got to buy at $2.68. I said to this before, you need to get it at $2.68. It's trending down again, and when it does, there it goes. $2.90, looks like $2.89 is about to happen. I've got to buy at $2.68. It's worth buying it down there. This is technology we need for wars, but also we need it for the future of satellite launches. It's far better than SpaceX, far cheaper to do, and can be launched anywhere from underneath a plane, a Boeing, the Boeing plane from Virgin Orbit. So this is looking good. I need it to go down to 268, and then I'll be buying it. Okay, that's when I'll be buying it. So we're waiting for that to happen and see if it does. If we get any more information, I will bring it to you. Keep our eye on that. I've got a buy order set in place. I won't spend a penny more than that. This place is better than the BBC for news. Well, we're trying to bring everything to you as it comes. That doesn't look like an explosion. It looks like a crash. Well, a picture. I mean, what can I say? It's not a great picture, but... we shall see. Yeah, we shall see. Oh, I'm not sharing you the picture, am I? There we go. I beg your pardon. There you go. That's the picture I've just received. What do you think of that? Anyway, we're going to keep our eye on it. We're going to keep checking what's going on, and we'll bring it to you. We're keeping our eye on the stocks as well. We're looking for Virgin Orbit to go down. All the other markets are looking fine. We've got half an hour to go. 289, there you go. It's going to be 268. Martin, your music is inspiring. Looking forward to it. Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. Here is our friend from Ukraine. So this person here was in a bomb shelter under attack. Thanks to Elon Musk with Starlink, was able to be in contact with us. And I was doing a concert at the time, and there was families in a bomb shelter with their dogs and cats while they were being bombed, while I was entertaining and singing and providing support and sharing our support to them. And this is that person. And that person is now called in asking for help and support. When it comes to their FTX, their money has been lost. I'm trying to get them to call into Discord. They've not yet done so. I'm giving you the Discord link over and over again, hoping that you will come in. If someone sees them in, please help. I want to get them on the phone. I want them to call in, and I want to offer them a fundraiser event, a fundraiser where I will donate my time and people can pay for requests and we'll send it all to you. You've lost all your money now, FTX, plus what you're going through with the war in Russia. I want to do everything I can to help. But there you go. If Russia says that they didn't bomb Poland, people also have to look at their side of the story. I know that Russia hasn't been on the popular. I'm just reading what this comment says, but no matter what, you cannot be biased. Absolutely, nobody with the right mind would want to be biased. Not saying they haven't sent over a missile. No, Baron Handley, you're absolutely right. We're not looking for a war. We are launching from Newquay Airport too. Yes, Andrew Grady, I was actually at Virgin Orbit Space Station in Cornwall in Newquay a few weeks ago. I was there. I've got a video on my channel. If you look at my Virgin Orbit playlist, I was there, and I saw Cosmic Girl, which is the name of the plane which carries Virgin Orbit rocket, land at the airport. At the time, I interviewed Channel 4 and The Times and other people who work for the organisation. So, anyway. So, Truebat, I don't believe the news. You don't believe the news? Well, I'm making sure that the information that we are bringing to you is accurate, unbiased and real. So I can assure you that I am bringing you the correct information.
Nothing to do with them. Just to bring out the statement from the Russian Defense Ministry saying the statements of the Polish media and officials about the alleged fall of Russian missiles in the area of the village where it happened is a deliberate provocation in order to escalate the situation. No strikes on targets near the Ukrainian-Polish state border were made by Russian rockets. The wreckage published by the Polish media from the scene of the village has nothing to do with Russian weapons. So the Russians are already denying this publicly, but behind the scenes, NATO officials, intelligence agencies will be trying to get an explanation from the Russians and saying, is this an innocent mistake? Has one of your missiles misfired? Has it overshot? From what we know about the attacks today, many of them were precision-guided missiles, cruise missiles, if you like. It's rare for those to malfunction, but it is possible. They have malfunctioned in the past. They will be trying to get from the Russians a plausible explanation as to what has happened, that they are then going to be able to present to their own people, to their own governments and leaders, and hope. I think the West will be hoping there is an innocent explanation for this. Otherwise, the alternative, as we've heard from Lord Dannett and Mark Stone there, is very dark because it leads us down an escalation process that is hard to reverse once it's begun.
And Dominic, just lastly, in terms of the background, we know that, well, almost since the start of the conflict, that Russia has been warning about those NATO members bordering Ukraine and their role, in particular Poland's role, in acting as a marshalling yard for the munitions.
Ed Nevius, could you offer some assistance here? We've got a guest here who's phoning in from Ukraine. This is the person here. They have had all their money lost, tied up in FTX. They used tokenized shares of Tilray. And they want to know, have they lost all their money and how we can be of assistance? I'm trying to get them on to Discord so they can continue the conversation and support from everyone. Perhaps you may be able to share some light on that subject.
The soldiers and the Ukrainian military is advising them, giving them intelligence.
If you've just tuned in, we are sharing the breaking news. Plus, we have somebody on the line from Ukraine here this afternoon.
Pretty thinly veiled threats by Russian officials that this could lead to attacks on the routes that are being used by the West to funnel weapons into Ukraine. And it's been left open, I think, and left ambiguous, and left open to interpretation as to whether they've meant by that lorries or trains taking weapons into Ukraine would be attacked within Ukraine or outside Ukraine in neighbouring countries, because any kind of threat that would threaten countries outside of Ukraine could be seen as a threat to NATO. But as I say, they've left that ambiguous. But they certainly expressed their anger and their frustration with this, and been well aware that they are against the NATO alliance. NATO boots are not on the ground, but they are helping Ukraine in many other ways, and they threaten that. But this, I think, is not an attack on NATO weapon supplies or routes going into Ukraine. It appears to be an attack on an innocent bit of farmland with a couple of tractors getting caught in the crossfire, and tragically 2 Polish people being killed in this hit. And so it would be crucial, I think, for the Polish National Security Council to work out, get facts from that area, get the information they can from the border as to what intelligence they have about the missiles coming in, and then get a further sense of whether this attack appears to have been deliberate or whether it's simply a missile that was aimed at a number of installations around Lviv, which is a western Ukrainian city very close to the border, that's merely gone wrong, gone astray, and has landed and overshot and landed in farmland in Poland.
To answer the question from Max H. Max H says, Martin, how do you feel about Chinese stocks with China rising towards a global superpower position? I wouldn't buy any Chinese stocks. I wouldn't buy any Russian stocks. Simple as that. Manipulation, lies, corruption. End of. That's it. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch Neo. I wouldn't touch Alibaba. All this stuff. Waste of time. It doesn't belong in my portfolio. I don't trust it. I don't understand it. And I'm not going to buy any of it or offer any of my money into those markets at all. I don't think anyone should. But what you do with your money is entirely up to you, of course. Is more information. What have we got here?
To understand, or NATO members to understand exactly what's happened before they can come out with any kind of response.
Yeah, nothing at the moment. We're just going backwards and forwards until we clarify. Now, there we go. Virgin Orbit is down at 289 right now, down 5%. Let's see how low. I've got to buy at 268. I'm not going to pay any more. It bounced last time off 291. It did it last time. I had it at 268, which is even lower down here. Let's go further back. There you go. There's where I had it, down here. This is a good company to hold if you can get it down here. So I bought it, the last time I bought it was 279. Yeah, it's not cheap enough for me. I've got my buys for 268. I'm not going to be sucked into this. It has to be, you have to get it under 270. Anyway, to be fair, Martin, there lies a manipulation in all markets. Haha, CNBC News pump and dump. Well, yes, you're absolutely right, but I can't control what they do in China. All I can control is what I do here and understand, what I am dealing with. And you're right. Everybody lies. Everybody cheats. Hopefully we don't here. Of course, that's not what we do. But I don't trust the Chinese market and government one iota. I'm not saying that the British government is perfect and the American government is perfect. There are bad apples, but the point is the system in the West is generally speaking the right thing, even though there are bad apples, whereas the Chinese system is bad, period. The Chinese system is communism, it's dictatorship, it's not a system that I can get behind. So I'm not going to put my money or my time or my investment into a system like that, just, even though there are bad apples in every system. Otherwise, I would never leave the house. I wouldn't go outside because there's bad people everywhere, right? Okay, we are watching very, very closely. People are coming in to look at the news, and I want to keep it on the screen so people realise I am sharing this information. Here we go.
Talked about what the president was saying about calling this an escalation. It's an escalation, of course, in the crisis, but the key will be whether or not it was deliberate, and that is going to be fundamental in NATO formulating its response, and there will be a response of some sort, but we'll have to wait to see what that will look like.
And Deborah, as you say there, well, those facts being established, but what is indisputable is that yet again today, Russia has been murdering Ukrainian civilians with these missile strikes on major population centres right across the country, which is seen as the Russian response to the G20 being addressed.
If you've just tuned in, we've got friends from Ukraine in the chat calling us, asking for help and assistance. They've lost all their money on FTX. We're trying to assist. We're also bringing the news of what's happening on the border of Ukraine with Poland. I just had a comment there from the Max H. Max H says, I have to disagree there, Martin. They may have rose in GDP quicker than the US for a long time, showing the success. I don't care. I don't care if the Chinese market is stronger, got more money, I wouldn't invest in it. I'm not just looking to make money, I'm looking to do the right thing. I like investing in stocks that change the world, do good. Are they perfect? No. Is everything perfect? No. But it's not just about making money for me. It's why I don't time the market, why I don't try to beat anybody. But I want to be as ethically correct and decent about what I invest in. It's not about, well, I can make more money with China. I can make more money with Russia. Doesn't interest me. I'd rather make less. I'm not interested in giving my money to communism, corruption, nothing like that at all. I would never do it.
Systems. The attacks today and these blasts across the border in Poland are already prompting countries such as Latvia to speak out and talk about increased air defences. You'll remember at the beginning of the conflict, there was that plea from Ukraine to close the skies to get...
Martin, liking the news feed. Thank you very much, Fusion. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, enjoy it. I'm glad it's informative for you. Nice one to fix inflation, nuclear apocalypse. Flash crash tomorrow. I'm not selling anything, by the way. Put that 13,000 in Tesla. Very good. Just like the whole world changes again. Lewis, this is a perfect opportunity for NATO to step in and stop this war. Otherwise, this war could go on for years. Lockheed, buy time. Lockheed, I've bought Lockheed. Never really saw any sense to it. Wasn't making any money for me at all. So, tiny bit. I was getting better opportunities elsewhere.
Intervention by countries like the UK in terms of protecting Ukraine's airspace. They have been giving Ukraine the means to protect the airspace themselves. They obviously have their own.
We are bringing you the breaking news here. We have people in Ukraine in the chat talking to us. At least we have one person anyway. We're bringing you the breaking news from the BBC and Sky News. Please do smash the like button. Not for the benefit of me. It doesn't earn me any money, but what it does is it shares this video to more people. I'm here today to always share the truth, help people, support people. We've offered to do a fundraiser gig for our friend in Ukraine who's lost all their money on FTX. Please like the video. It helps us grow. It helps me do more good for more people. We've only got 26 likes. There's 50 people watching. Please do smash the like button. Thank you.
Had it not been for the weapons that Ukraine has been given to protect itself.
OK, Deborah, many thanks for the assessment there, our Defence and Security Editor, Deborah Haynes. Well, I want to bring in Siobhan Robbins now, joins us from Berlin. And Siobhan, in terms of people perhaps just joining us, let's rewind a bit and tell us more about the circumstances, what we know and what we don't know.
Yes, so it's been reported that a missile or missiles, Russian missile or missiles, has hit a grain store in Poland on the Ukrainian border in a village called Shevardov. We're being told that 2 people have died. We know that the Pentagon has said it's looking into these reports, that the Polish Prime Minister has called an emergency meeting saying this is a crisis situation. He's talking to his defence officials now to find out what's going on. We know a similar situation is happening in Hungary as well. They're having an emergency meeting too. And we're getting reaction from various countries across Europe and also in the US. And
we've got Virgin Orbit now down to 289, crashing down again today, exactly as predicted. I've got a buy order at 268. The overall markets are not reacting to this at all. We've got 10 minutes to go. There's been no reaction to the markets whatsoever. Everything is business as usual at the moment. No knee-jerk reaction, no mass sell-off, no mass buy-in, nothing going on. These are all my stocks, all my positions. Everything is as business as usual. No issue there whatsoever. So anyway, we're coming up to 10 minutes before the bell goes. Maybe The markets haven't digested which way to go with this yet. But at the moment, there's nothing going on, nothing negative, nothing positive. In fact, the stocks are rallying into the close, as they often do when we have days that shape up like this. Back to the news. I'll bring it to you now.
By Russia, and really that's the point now that everyone is looking at. Was this a deliberate attack on Poland, which we know has been extremely strong in its stance against Russia ever since this war in Ukraine broke out, or was this an accident? That's what the conversations will be going on behind the scenes right now. What's going to happen? Because we've said it time and time again over the last hour or so. The big problem here is that Poland is a NATO member, and that is an issue because if this is a deliberate attack, then there'll be conversations around whether other NATO members should react to protect this member. It wouldn't happen immediately, as you've heard from Deborah Haynes, and there'll obviously be discussions about, was this an accident? Was this something that the Russians can deny to diffuse the situation? But they will be the key questions now being looked at around the world.
OK, Siobhan, thank you very much indeed. Siobhan Robbins there in Berlin, and you'll have heard Siobhan telling us there that...
Very good point. Fusion 301 says, it is interesting that it isn't even a blip on the markets. Absolutely. It's very, very interesting. Here we go. Is our friend from Ukraine now phoning in once again. Europe and the USA have created two dictators. Europe and the USA have created two dictators with their investments. Europe, and this is coming directly from Ukraine, from Kiev. This person is from Kiev. Europe and the USA have created two dictators with their investments. Europe has Putin, and the USA has Xi Jinping. I think you mean China has Xi Jinping. I think that's what you mean. But they were already dictators before this war. We haven't created dictators. They already were. Xi Jinping from China and Vladimir Putin were already dictators. We've not created dictators, so you're not right there, I'm afraid. They were already dictators. If I was a gambling man, I would say this is an accident. If you're going to deliberately attack Poland, you might do it a bit differently, larger something. Well, I see your point, 301. However, if you had launched an attack on, say, a missile dump or something obvious, a strategic target, you would be committing suicide because it's obvious that you've done it. No question, no doubt, no mistake. This on a farmland looks like a mistake. It looks like an accident, and that could be the point. The point could be Russia could be playing games going, look, we're going to do something that will look like an accident and try and then blame the West when they think the West would then want to react. So by actually attacking a farmland and making it look like a silly little mistake and not important, it could be because Russia know they're losing. It could be they want the US to react and then blame the US on the escalation. You see where I'm going with that? A little bit of strategic thinking. It's too obvious just to bomb somewhere obvious. This is how I think Russia they know they're losing and they want to gain support from America attacking them. They want China to support them, Iran to support them, to say, okay, we made a mistake. And America jumped straight on it. When reality is they made the mistake on purpose to provocate the US and NATO into action so they could blame someone else on the escalation rather than themselves. I would say that's more likely than a silly uncalculated mistake. I think Vladimir Putin, just like Adolf Hitler, were crazy, horrible, evil people, but very, very smart and intelligent and strategic. They're not stupid. They know how to manipulate and play the game. That is more likely, in my opinion. Let's listen in. Let's read some of your comments and then let's listen in. 301 could easily just be a test, just to prod to see what there you go. There you go. That's what
Village
22 says.
Stephen
Rowe agrees. They have been sneaking all this war.
You can see here the notable plume of smoke there. That's what we've got so far. Those reports that a Russian missile has crossed the border between Ukraine and Poland and hit that village, Przewodów. 2 people are reportedly dead. Well, let's get the latest now with Daniel Fried, the former US ambassador to Poland. Very good to talk to you, Ambassador. And, of course, facts being established here. But give us your overview. Are we in a delicate and potentially dangerous situation now?
Possibly. But facts matter. And we don't know what the facts are. There's a saying that the U.S. military has, first reports are always wrong. First reports are always wrong. We have to determine whether or not it was a Russian missile that hit the village. I've just heard within the last 15 minutes a speculation from the U.S. government that it may have been a Russian missile fired at Ukrainian targets, but a Ukrainian interceptor that landed on Poland. Not clear what we're dealing with. It is certainly plausible that Russia chose to escalate, that Russia has deliberately attacked Poland. This is possible given that Putin's armies are losing on the battlefield, that Putin's position at home is vulnerable because he's got Russia into a war that it's losing. So a kind of desperate escalation on his part is plausible, but plausible doesn't make it real. And we need to determine what the facts are. Article 5 of NATO applies to Poland, which is a full NATO member. That means an attack on one is an attack on all. So the question is, if the United States were attacked, if a Russian missile landed in Alaska and killed 2 people, what would we do? At a minimum, we would make sure that the defenses were available so that a further attack would not succeed, or we would decrease the chances that it would succeed. The second thing we would have to do is determine what our military and other responses would be. But that depends on the attribution. And it's a bad practice to start spinning out hypotheses of what our action might be before we've confirmed the thing we're responding to.
Indeed.
So let's be careful and get to the facts.
Indeed. But, I mean, it tells us, we knew already, of course, but it illustrates to the rest of NATO, to the rest of the world, just how much on the front line Poland is. Crucial in terms of the NATO response, in terms of getting materials and training to the Ukrainians, and, yes, establish the facts here. But what does then the rest of NATO, what does the rest of the West have to do to reassure the Poles here?
Well, you're absolutely right that Poland is an essential platform for the supplying of arms and other kinds of assistance to Ukraine. Absolutely critical. They're a frontline state. They have, from the beginning of the war, understood that they might be attacked. I was in Poland a few weeks after the war started, and they understood this. So NATO has to treat Polish concerns, of course, seriously. They are a major NATO ally. They are a serious contributor to the Western efforts to support Ukraine. We need to make sure that they are part of the decision-making process, that their security needs will be met, that NATO will supply them with the forces they need.
We're going to come off that for the moment and to come back when we get some more information. NATO never ever fought a war. I think that's true. If a missile landed in Alaska, we know it's an attack. If a missile lands 20 yards over the border, well, that could be anything. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That was a bad example. We're not looking for a war. I'm not looking for a war. No one's looking for a war. At least, nobody I know anyway. We are watching the markets just fall off slightly. I'm still up 2%, which still makes it 28 29% up in 4 days. So we're still up. I've sold nothing. He's blurring his background of the beach he's on. He's blurring his background of the beach that he's on. Says Fusion 301. Anyway, we'll come back to more news as we get it. We're watching the markets. We're seeing what's going on. There's no major reaction to it yet. Hopefully, we'll find out it was a mistake and Russia apologized. I don't know if that's going to be enough. And basically, for me, Russia, knowing how the NATO is going to work, I think Russia need to surrender. Well, not surrender. Then they're not the defending force. They need to retreat. They need to leave Ukraine now. Now that this has happened, they need to leave because they need to de-escalate very, very quickly to protect themselves if they want to, get out of this. So that's what I think. Keep a watch on defense stock like PLTR, RTX, and LH. Yes. The way Russia have bought this war looks like Russia hasn't ever fought a war, either church. Yeah, that's rubbish, isn't it? How they behaved, but they're, idiots anyway. What can I say? Virgin Orbit 289, just bouncing a little bit off that point. It bounced off it before. If we look back, this 289, it bounces off here. Look, you might go, I want to buy it at 289. I wouldn't buy it at 289, and I'll tell you for why. It doesn't matter that it's bounced off there before and it looks pretty low and we know it bounces up to 350. For me, it's not worth buying at 289 or 290 to go to 310. That ain't worth my investment because I'm not putting $10,000 on it. Right? I want it for 268. I want it below this price, and if it doesn't go that low, I'm not buying it. I had an average of 299. That's a different ball game than if you've got an average, you can get it lower. But it's gone sideways at this point, so it's near its bottom, and it could bounce from here. But look, in the after hours, it's gone down again. The bell's now gone. Let's ring the bell. The bell has now gone. We are in the after hours. Let's have a look. It's going down further, 288. I won't touch it until it gets to 268. You've got to have patience. You've got to know your value. You've got to know where you're going. I'm sorry I missed the bell. There you go. I've got to ring it, even if it's 30 seconds late, right? Okay. And we'll bring more news as and when we get it. Well, as it comes in, I'll bring it to you. I'm not going to repeat news over and over again. We're watching the markets. We're watching what's going on. We're keeping our eye on everything. Our friend from Ukraine has gone quiet. I offered some assistance of a live concert to raise money. FTX support via Discord. They've not come back to me yet, so I don't know what more I can do at this stage. I can't contact anyone through chat. There's no way I can message any of you through chat. I can only message you if you access our messaging services like Discord or reply to a comment. I can't just message or reach out to anyone. All right, breaking news coming in again now from the US with regard to this attack this afternoon. Let's have a look. No, in fact, it's repeating itself. Nothing new to report just yet. So I'll come back to it if it's new. Huge sell-off tomorrow if we don't get an update before 7 a.m. on the Poland news. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think so. I don't think there's a reaction now. There won't be a reaction tomorrow. I don't think so. Stephen wrote it can be up to 6.27, then drop to 547. What is that, Stephen? What are we talking about? Anyone know what the heck that pump and dump was on IonQ earlier? 12% swing in no time. Let's have a little look. IonQ, yes, huge pump there. You're absolutely right. I didn't take any profit. I didn't sell it. I didn't do anything at all. But yeah, nothing at all. Yeah. But I'm still up on it, but we're back where we were this morning. Let's have a look. Sell-off. You're predicting a sell-off. Did markets not sell off when they attacked Ukraine the first time? Come on. Well, yes, they did, but I think we're already sold off. I think we're already down there. I think we've already priced this in. I think we've already reacted. That's why markets are where they are. If the war ended, the markets would go up 20%. We're already in that war price. I don't think the markets are suddenly going to go down less tomorrow because of it. We shall see. We shall see if I'm right or not.
Not know what has happened yet. We have seen reports out of Poland. They, of course, are incredibly concerning. And we're working with our partners in the Polish government and our NATO partners to get more information and to assess what has happened. And we will make that determination, and we will determine appropriate next steps as well.
Just to follow up, certain media quoting U.S. intelligence officials on their story. So I'm assuming it's
Leon, what I can say from this podium in front of you all on camera and on the record is that we've seen these reports and that we are working with the Polish government and other partners to assess and get more information. We cannot confirm the reports of what has happened or the details, but we are working through that process to determine what happened and determine appropriate next.
I see.
Here with the defense minister,
I would like to welcome
saying that,
our guests on TikTok. We have a very large audience on TikTok. We are live here this afternoon. We've had friends call in from Ukraine asking for help. We've had somebody call in from Ukraine and say they are in Kiev today and they saw air defense systems from their window. I was also able to sing to them and their families in a bomb shelter a few months ago because Elon Musk dropped in Starlinks, and I've been supporting them through my music channel, offering our support and love and commitment. And they were asking for some FTX advice because they've lost all their money they had on tokens. And I've offered to do a fundraiser concert for them. Well, we're trying to get them back in the chat. If you'd like to be part of our live feed this afternoon, if you'd like to offer assistance, if you'd like to ask questions, if you'd like to make a statement to our friend in Kiev, if you'd like to make a statement for those in Poland this afternoon, come into the live chat on YouTube and express your thoughts, because the comments here go away forever. They don't last. Whereas the comments on YouTube stay there forever. The comments in the live chat stay there forever. We are on youtube.com/@ Martyn Lucas Investor, the same name as his channel, youtube.com/@ Martyn Lucas Investor. Links in the profile, or just type that into YouTube. Come on in, Sam from TikTok, and express your views and be helpful, be supportive, offer some assistance if you wish to do so. So there we go. Has Russia fired on Poland today? It looks like what it looks like doesn't mean what it is. It could be made to look a certain way. It looks like it was fired on farmland. Maybe it was shot down, or maybe it was intentional. So it looks like a mistake, but maybe that's the point. It's meant to look like a mistake, so it forces the United States on the NATO to retaliate to Russia, so they can blame everybody on them aggressing them, when in fact they did it on purpose to make it look like a mistake, when in fact it was a genuine thing. So I've got some more news now coming in from the White House from our correspondent on Sky News.
On this one, President Biden, of course, is in Bali at the G20 summit, surrounded by national security advisors. We are told that there is no change in his schedule as of yet, but you heard from the State Department. We've had this from...
This is the US president now en route. Renato, why are you scared? How can we be of assistance to you?
What happened and what was the intent behind this? Because that will be key in all of this. Was this intentional? Were these indeed Russian missiles, or was there, to some degree in this, an accident? There will be consequences, NATO-driven consequences. It will be a sliding scale, depending on what was behind
why is Putin like this
particular incident.
Well,
now, President Biden,
no words for that, I'm afraid,
clearly faces challenges. He is a man who has talked the talk in terms of NATO's defence of Ukraine throughout this 8-month conflict, speaking about offering the full protection of the United States for NATO allies. He has invoked, hasn't he, Armageddon as a potential consequence in this particular scenario. So for him, the challenge, and for his NATO allies, the challenge is to offer protection to a NATO member, to send an appropriate message to Russia on the back of this, but also to preserve the authority of NATO itself without tipping this into a wider extended conflict. Key to all this will be what the Russians say, of course. Should they admit an honest mistake, then that diplomatically would provide perhaps an easier route out of this, but there doesn't seem any sign of that from Moscow as of yet. So essentially, much hinges on the investigation on the ground. That will take at least a few hours, one imagines, although there is evidence on the scene. There will be evidence on radar, clear evidence to see what direction these missiles came from. So within a few hours, we should have the hard information. And for NATO, who have been talking tough, President Biden in particular, we will see in due course whether that is followed up by an appropriate action that doesn't widen the scale of this conflict inappropriately.
James, thank you. Let's head straight to Moscow then, get the view of what is happening in Russia. And certainly the Russian Ministry of Defense Telegram channel, Diana Magnay, who is there, shows no sign of a simple apology, should it be them that caused this. Their Telegram channel saying the statements of the Polish media and official...
I just want to answer a question here. The bell has gone, the markets are up, there's no massive reaction to the markets. Someone has just asked me a question. Why did I call it Russia attacks Poland? Because that is how it's viewed by NATO. I need to be absolutely clear here. I have never and never will do clickbait. Everything on my channel is real, genuine, honest. This is my real investments, my real trades. I'm bringing you breaking news that is factual. I use the BBC and Sky, no opinion based. I'm bringing you the information. Russia attacks Poland is the correct wording because a Russian missile has landed in Poland. Whether it was intentional, whether it was shot down is irrelevant. When you are at war with a country, accidents happen, but there is still consequences for your actions, even if it is an accident. If you go to war with a country and start dropping bombs around the place and go right up to the border, it's only a matter of time before you hit either a nuclear power station. We've seen it very close several times in Ukraine, or you go over the border. The fact of the matter is, Russia has attacked Ukraine. Now, a Russian missile, whether it was shot down, an accident, or whatever, has landed in Poland. That is an attack on Poland, even if it's accidental. If I walk around and I punch someone in the face and I say, well, it was only an accident, I attacked that person. I have to be responsible. The facts of the matter are, Poland is a NATO country, and it has a number of countries all sworn to support each other. Attack on one is an attack on all, and that's why Ukraine wanted to get into NATO. Poland is in NATO, and a missile has landed. Now, you might go, well, it was only a farmland. Those two people are dead, right? The fact of the matter is, you've been bombing all over Ukraine. Thousands and thousands of people are dead. Okay? So it's inevitable at some point you're going to go just an inch over the line. Well, did they do it on purpose? Was it an accident? Doesn't matter. If you're firing bombs, you're going to get some consequence at some point, and that's what happened. So the statement I have made and the title of this video on YouTube and on TikTok was Russia attacks Poland is correct. That is how how NATO will see it, and now NATO have to decide what they do about it. Okay, we're tuning into the news right now.
Part of those air defense systems that you talked about.
Someone says, sounds like I want a war. No, I don't. Why on earth would I want a war? All I want to do every day is go live on YouTube and TikTok, help people, support people, offer them comfort, do free cash giveaways, help people make money on their investments. I don't want a war. What the bloody hell's the point of that? No, I'm just telling you the facts as they are.
I think we're in the West often quite keen to paint every move of Russia's at this stage after the Ukrainian counteroffensive in Kharkiv, now the loss of Kherson, as an act of desperation. I'm not sure that President Putin sees it that way, and I'm not sure that the Russian people see it that way. They have consistently been depicted, or this conflict for them has been depicted in any case as one against NATO, where NATO is supplying weapons to Ukraine, where NATO is controlling Ukraine like a puppet master, and where NATO's ultimate goal is to destroy Russia. So I don't think that...
We've got a comment from 22 in YouTube. It said to me, I do disagree here, Martin. The missile landing there isn't as important as why. If it was in fact shot down by Ukraine and landed there it was an accidental hit and not an attack. 22, I understand how you come to that assumption. That makes perfect sense. However, if you are not shooting your missiles at the edge of a border, this wouldn't happen. It doesn't matter to me that it was shot down or an accident or whatever. If you are at school and you're running around and you're creating mischief, you may not intentionally mean to do something, but you do, and you have to be responsible for your actions. If Russia wasn't dropping bombs all over Ukraine, this accident wouldn't happen. So whether it's accident, shot down or not, is irrelevant. You are on the border of another country. You were told not to step over the line, and it appears that has now happened. So there you go. Let's carry on and listen in.
He says that they are raising the readiness of their military units. Also that there was an explosion and it did indeed kill 2 Polish citizens. And Mr. Mueller going on to say that we will not answer any more questions, but they are verifying if they need to activate NATO Article 4.
Right, what's happening now is discussions are being had to go and activate Article 5. Article 5 is absolutely solid, absolutely 100%, 100% written in stone. One attack on one country will trigger an attack, is an attack on all. At the end of the day, it's zero tolerance. You've been bombing all over a country. You've gone over the line. It's just the same as if we'd suddenly had a bomb land in the nuclear power station, and we'd have had a nuclear incident. That could have happened. That could have happened over and over again. It's only by luck it hasn't happened. This is now escalating. This is very serious. It's not a very nice thing for me to be talking about and report on, but we need to bring the information truthfully, and this is the best news source I know.
Has hit a grain store in a village on the Polish-Ukrainian border. Reports that 2 people have died, that firefighters are at the scene. We know the Polish held this emergency meeting where we're just getting updates now. They're looking at whether they trigger...
Cornwall homegrown veg. I'm from Cornwall. I live near Truro. I'm in USA right now, but my home is in Cornwall. Can I ask, should we be scared? No. We should never be scared. We should never be scared. We all live, we all die. Focus on living, focus on living a positive life. No, we should not be scared. This does not mean World War III will start tomorrow at all. This does not mean that at all. So no, please do not anyone be at home right now fearful and scared. We're staying on air, we're covering the news, we're discussing it, we're sharing everyone's opinions, we're answering everyone's questions. This is not a time to be scared. No, it isn't.
Confirms that the missiles also hit its territory. This will be a further escalation by Russia. We stand firmly behind our EU and NATO ally. And I think, you know, we've said it time and again, but that really is the key now? Was this a deliberate attack?
Do you think it will be a war? We already have a war. We are already, if you like, at war, even though not indirectly. We've been at war now for some months. Surprised anyone would even assume that we weren't at war. We are at war, just not directly. We're assisting another country. We're involved in it. It's costing lives. It's costing in infrastructure and money, investment. We are at war, just not directly. This does not mean tomorrow we got Third World War. This does not mean we wake up tomorrow or we don't wake up tomorrow. What this does mean is action will be taken against Russia. It doesn't mean we drop a nuclear bomb on Russia and then nuclear bomb comes to us. That's not what happens. That is not what we're talking about today at all.
Will be very, very much aware that if this was a deliberate strike by Russia on NATO soil, then that has, from the very beginning of Russia's decision to launch its war in Ukraine, which is not a member state, that has been a red line, a clear red line by all NATO allies, that should Russia put one toe, one boot, one missile on NATO soil, then that would require an Article 5, a NATO response of some sort. Now, the thing that they will also be mindful of is that given that is such a serious move, such a direct attack.
Okay, we're getting a massive audience on TikTok now. Many thousands of you have come through in the last couple of hours. I would like to share everyone's comments. I would like to answer everyone's comments, and I would like a conversation to be had by all. If you'd make my life a lot easier, and it would enable me to answer your question, enable me to share your comments, enable others to communicate with each other. If you would join us on youtube.com/@Martyn Lucas Investor. That's where we are now. That's where this broadcast is. The link's in the profile. Come out of the live stream and you'll find my link into YouTube. I'm live right now. One click and you will be in YouTube. Just come out of the main live show, click the profile, and there is the YouTube link, or type it in youtube.com/@Martyn Lucas Investor. Please be part of it so we can answer your questions. It's very difficult dealing on the phone as well as my studio. All right, let's go back to this news.
That is all about NATO members under the treaty that all NATO members sign up to. They can have an Article 4 consultation, which is when a member state thinks that the integrity of their territory is under threat. Then they will have political consultations. It's not a military step, which is Article 5. But with these things, they do require consensus. So for Article 5 to be enacted, which is an attack on one being an attack on all, the only time it's ever been enacted within the wake of the September the 11th attacks back in 2001 on the United States, it requires consensus. It requires all 30 member states to agree on the analysis and to agree that there is this collective threat, and then to respond. And so that is why you are going to see very slowly, not slowly, but very careful consideration being taken, because the next step could be so serious. One other point to make is this Russian response tonight.
Okay, two questions. How can they prove it came from Russia? That is easy. They have all the radar tracking. There is military satellites and navigation equipment above Ukraine and Poland all the time right now. And the US, NATO, the British will have all this tracking information. They will know where the bomb came from. They will have evidence of it. Don't be under any doubt at all. We will have that information. It's being looked into right now. I'm absolutely confident of that. And Church makes a very good point. A bomb is a bomb, and Poland citizens are dead. That is correct, and that is the point. This is my prediction of what will happen. What will happen, what I expect to happen is Russia now are losing the war. They've been losing the war for a long time. This may have been their intention. Let's make it look like a mistake. Let's drop a little bomb or get it shot down over a little farm in Poland. Make it look like a mistake. That way, Russia, the US will get all aggressive and so on, and we can somehow get out of this by holding face. Russia are losing the war. They've already lost the war. They haven't accepted it yet. This might be a way for them to pull back. This, I think, will give them the opportunity to go, okay, we don't want any more. We don't want to upset the world. We don't want a third world war. What we're going to do now is we're going to retreat. It was an accident, even if it was intentional. It was an accident. We're going to pull back, and diplomats in the US and NATO will deflate the situation. I don't believe for a minute we're going to start World War III tomorrow. I don't believe in a minute that the stock market is going to crash tomorrow. I think we'll have the information within the next couple of hours. What happened, they'll be able to track it and trace it, and I think what will happen is Russia will retreat, and Vladimir Putin is already potentially being overthrown by generals in Russia. People want to get rid of Vladimir Putin anyway, and I'm pretty confident that's exactly what's going to happen. Anyway, we have people calling in from the Ukraine live on our YouTube channel, and let's go back to the news and answer all your questions. If you are over on YouTube, TikTok, join us on YouTube, links in the profile, and you can have your say, put your questions on the screen, and I can answer all your questions. Here we go.
Risk of a misunderstanding. It's a moment of maximum risk right now. And that's why cool heads and clear information are going to be crucial before anyone is going to want to make the next step.
Deborah, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Further word from the White House National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, who has said that he has spoken with his Polish counterpart after those missile reports. That's according to a statement from the White House. Let's join now the retired General Sir Richard Barrons, former commander of the UK's Joint Forces Command. How seriously should this be taken then? You obviously heard from our security and defence editor there.
Yes, and I absolutely agree with Deborah Haynes that right now is the time for cool heads and the facts, and the facts will be established probably in daylight when the parts of whatever caused this explosion, such as bits of a missile, will be located, and they're relatively easy to identify, and the radar tracks through the sky.
There we go. This is why we are here. Right now, this comment here is why we are here. We are here not to make money, and we're not here. I mean, my stocks and shares are here to make money, but that comment on the screen is why we are here. Renato just said, thanks, I'm more calm after what you are saying. That's why we're here. That's why this channel exists. We want people to come here, share the facts, because no one wants lies. No one wants, to be told the whole world's going to be great and we're all living in pink clouds. The truth will always benefit you and always see you out. We give you the truth, but we try to bring some rational calmness to it, because people like to get carried away and dramatize what's going on. That's the very opposite of what this channel does. And on the screen now, Renato says, thank you, I'm more calm after what you are saying. So for me, this entire broadcast has been beneficial just for that. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that information. We appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody here will appreciate it too.
You said it was deliberate but unlikely. Another is a missile overshoot or gone wrong. The other is that air defence systems had been deployed, and this was a remnant part of a missile, or indeed part of the interceptor itself. We know that Ukraine received NASAMs from America. They've got their own S-300s, Ukraine's existing Soviet-era air defence systems. So there are a number of explanations for this.
We've got a question here from Space 167. Will there be a normal war? No nuclear war. Please answer it. I am here with you. I am listening to you, and I will answer it, and others will answer too. I don't believe for a minute there'll be a nuclear war. I never live in negativity. I never see the world coming to an end. That seems pointless to me, and wouldn't even waste my time entertaining the thought that was possible. I think this will end the war. I think this will end the war because I believe that Russia have a way out now. They have a way out. Oh, we made a mistake, even if it wasn't a mistake. We made a mistake. You know what? It's probably best now. We've done quite well in the war. We've got a few successes. Yeah, we're gonna retreat now. We're gonna respectfully walk back, and we've achieved our goal, and we're gonna bring peace to the world. There's going to be no more escalation. You know. That's where I see this going, actually. I do not see World War III breaking out. That would make no sense whatsoever. And so I don't think there's going to be a nuclear war, and I don't think it'll escalate the war.
Of missiles, it's done a lot of damage, not to the military of Ukraine, but to the domestic electricity infrastructure. And that in itself must be clearly a more shocking event than one explosion in a field in Poland.
Well, absolutely. Let's talk about that and the energy crisis now in Ukraine. And
just to clarify, 22's comment is meant as a joke. He's having some fun, lightening the mood. He doesn't mean that for a moment. And that is not what we're saying. This is somebody watching my channel, one of our regular members. And we do not for a minute think that is what's going to happen at all. Man, I'm going to... What are you going to do?
That crucial infrastructure as we head into winter.
You deserve my follow,
so
man.
There
really,
appear to be three parts to the Russian strategy right now.
What I would like to do at the end of this broadcast, if I can get everybody through from TikTok onto YouTube at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to sing a song. I'm the world piano man, and just behind me is my TV studio. Let's see. There's my TV studio, and there is my piano. I would like to dedicate a song to everybody, but I want everybody from TikTok to come across, because I won't play it on TikTok because of copyright reasons. So if you want to be part of my song, I've got a song which I'd like to sing for everybody. Come over to YouTube, and I will sing it at the end of this broadcast very shortly. So if you want to be part of that, youtube.com/, at Martyn Lucas Investor. Same name as his channel, links in the profile. Come on in. I will do it at the end of this broadcast.
Military and non-military, short of weapons of mass destruction, at least so far.
General Barons, great to have your thoughts there. Thank you very much indeed. And clearly a very serious situation. Various explanations underway. Certainly some people already analysing the parts, in fact, on Poland. Unverified, I have to say, suggesting it could be part of an S-300 AD system, a Ukrainian one. So we watch and wait. The verification process being called for by people like the French President, Emmanuel Macron, is underway. And the NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg saying that he has spoken with the Polish President, Andrzej Duda, about the explosion in the east of the country and offered my condolences, he said, for the loss of life. NATO is monitoring the situation and allies are closely consulting. Important that all facts are established. And that has certainly been the watchword we've heard from the White House, from the State Department, and from those European nations who are already reacting to it. So far, the Polish government spokesperson, after that emergency meeting of the National Security Bureau of Poland, said that they confirmed there was an explosion which killed 2 Polish citizens. He went on to say, we are raising the readiness of military units. And Peter Müller saying that they are verifying if we need to activate NATO Article 4, a consultation process, and finally confirming that they will not answer any more questions at this time. So a degree of hesitation, certainly, about drawing any conclusions. Well, let's talk now to Mark Voiga, former special advisor for Russian and Eurasian affairs to the commanding...
Ed Nevius, it is sad that so many people are terrified by such superpowers. A handful makes so many terrified, horrible feeling. My kids are scared and many others. Please, your kids should not be scared. We are fine. Nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no World War III. None of that's going to happen. We are here together. I'm here every day, 10 hours a day, bringing you the news. Not going anywhere. This is not the end of the world. You know, it's awful, but we're all here, and there's not going to be World War III. So stick with us. I am planning on ending this show with a piece of music dedicated to all my friends. If you want to join me, it's going to happen on YouTube. You have to be in YouTube. If you want to join me, I can't play it here on TikTok because of copyright.
I understand that this is viewed as a minor accident. It's although for the first time in decades, NATO citizens of a NATO state have been killed, quite unfortunately, and the world has never been closer to war since I would say the Cuban Missile Crisis in October '62. Still, even challenging a limited area within NATO could be part of the Russian hybrid game, and even the one of the former top UK commanders in 2014 was actually quite concerned about potential challenges by Russia of such distant pieces of territory within NATO. This could be a probing action, and therefore a decisive response. It could be a military if we're able to prove that this was a deliberate attack. It could be political, it could be economic, but at any rate, this should not be left without any response on the part of the West.
And certainly you see the reaction from those European nations who border Russia, a great deal of concern for many of them. The Latvian defence minister, for example, saying NATO could provide air defences to Poland and part of the territory of Ukraine. You know, is more needed, do you think, to bolster NATO defence, whatever the cause of this?
Absolutely. Not only air defenses, but Poland absolutely needs missile defenses, American Patriot missiles. This is a whole another ball game. This is what we call hitting a bullet with a bullet. It's a completely different technological level. And I might add a missile defense if strategically located along the borders or within range from Western Ukraine. Could, at the behest of the Ukrainian government, potentially also provide some sort of cover for Lviv, for critical areas in Western Ukraine itself, thus creating a sort of a missile shield. Therefore, now is the time, regardless of the type of response we're gonna get and what this will elicit. Now is the time for both Poland, for the eastern flank or Eastern Front states, and for Ukraine to demand more from the NATO leadership, from the US and other allies to actually protect their airspace, and so that the Russians don't enter this escalation cycle even more forcefully and continue challenging NATO sovereignty on NATO territory already.
And just quickly, if you don't mind, we had a 10-point peace plan from President Zelensky presented to what he called the G19, pointedly ignoring Russia as part of the G20 today. And yet you talk about an escalatory conflict with Russia.
Just want to answer a question. I think it's Terry Keys. You're actually watching me on TikTok. If you want to see my full studio, because you're asking about the studio, I'm on YouTube now. This is the YouTube broadcast. Come on here, and I'll share with you the other angles. You can see this is my TV studio behind me. If you want to be part of it, come on into youtube.com/@Martyn Lucas Investor. Links in the profile, and I'll gladly help you in any way I can. You said you wanted to build your studio. This is the full studio. You can't see that on TikTok. You're just looking on my phone. Anyway, back to this breaking news.
As a group of democratic nations and not in a piecemeal fashion.
Mark Voigas, former special advisor for Russian and Eurasian affairs to the commanding general of US Army Europe. Very good to have your thoughts. Thank you very much indeed. So lots of reaction from NATO nations to an incident on the Polish border with Ukraine. Poland confirming tonight that there was an explosion and 2 Polish citizens have been killed. We'll have more after this.
Okay, we'll come back to the news in a minute. The markets have remained up, so no problem there. Putin is down under 2 miles of earth, that's for sure. Yes, Putin is... apparently, someone says no one knows where Putin is. I can't confirm that. That's just coming in via chat right now. What's going on here? Not even warm. Fraud flag. What does that mean? That makes no sense whatsoever. Why should the UK get involved? I don't want to go to war. No, and there's not going to be a war. People need to calm down, all right? We're dealing with it. We're dealing with the situation. We're dealing with it. It doesn't mean there's going to be a war. There's already a war in Ukraine, and no one is looking to escalate that. That makes no sense whatsoever. We are in a recession, have been for many years. We haven't been in a recession for many years at all. Host don't know where the fraud flag mean. Host don't know what the fraud flag mean. That makes no sense. RBARR, your comments make no sense. Of course, there's going to be a war. No, there's not going to be a war. There's already a war in Ukraine, and this does not mean it's going to escalate at all. We're not going to have a nuclear war. No, another silly comment there. Let's have a look here. I'm just reading people's comments. I'm just going to read sensible comments that are helpful and useful. We're not trying to provocate or say silly stuff. Anyway, does this mean if it goes, it's very difficult for me to read the comments. If you come, I've invited you all to YouTube. That's where you should be if you want your comments answered. This is our YouTube broadcast. Come to youtube.com/Martyn Lucas Investor. Links in the profile. Come and join us there. We need to be positive. Renato, we are positive. We're always positive on this channel. That's why I go live 10 hours a day, Monday to Friday. People who say, why should we get involved? Need to learn about Hitler and appeasement. Absolutely correct. 22, you're spot on there. You have to get involved. You can't just sit around, because if you sit around, you'll be taken over and you'll all be killed anyway. Let's have a look. There's more comments here coming in. Everyone needs to calm down. There has been a war for the past year. Correct. There has been a war for the past year. Nothing has changed there at all. We're now going to rationally get together the information and see where this all goes. All right? But no one's looking for a war. Are you dressed up like that in your spare bedroom? No, I'm actually in a TV studio, and I keep inviting you to come onto YouTube so you can see. This is my TV studio. And why do I dress up every day? Why do I make the effort to make my studio look like this? Why do I put a suit and tie on? There's my studio. This is on YouTube. The reason for doing that is I respect my audience. My audience is everything to me. And when I go live, I like to be the best of myself. I like to demonstrate that I've made the effort to talk to my audience and to making the effort to present myself, because I think it's the right thing to do. I'm old school, and I believe that if people give it their time to watch you, be part of your community, they deserve you to give the best of yourself. So yes, every day I am suited and booted, and I'm not in my back bedroom. I built a TV studio to bring you the best quality. Sadly, I keep inviting you to come onto YouTube, and you don't. So what can I say? You're watching on TikTok. Let's have a look. Let's read this. There's been wars for hundreds of years, says Stephen Rowe. Martyn getting trolled on TikTok. Yeah, I'm always getting trolled on TikTok. All views, let them have their fun. TikTok getting saucy. Stephen Rowe. Yeah, I get some clowns on TikTok. You know how it goes. I know actually my army of moderators are going to go over there in a minute to protect me, not to get rid of the silly comments, but to get me from reacting to them. That's what I always notice that my moderators do. Unfortunately, the media has always benefited from breaking news because of pump fears into people, which in turn gets people to be glued to their screens looking for news. Steezy G. Well, as you know, this show is about stocks and investment, and this is breaking news when it affects the stock market. And that's why I shared this news, and I brought the facts as I see them. And as we've heard from Renato, Renato says, I appreciate this, and it's made me feel better. That's why we are here. I'm from Portugal. My family is very nervous, but I am saying to them they need to be calm. There we go. Renato spreading the love over there in Portugal. Calm down, everyone. Calm down, people. Mutually assured destruction. It's all political. No one wants to wipe civilization out. I think it's time for a good song, Martyn. Yep. I've said to everybody on TikTok and YouTube, if we get everybody on YouTube, I am going to do a song. So if you are one of my YouTube family, you can be on TikTok right now. Let me give you the link on TikTok, and you can give everyone the information to come on over and join us here on YouTube, and then we'll do a song at the end. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly what song I want to sing. So I'll do that. Let me give you my... TikTok. Here's a TikTok link. If you've not yet gone to TikTok, here is the TikTok link. It's Martyn Lucas Investor. Spelt correct. I have many, many imposters on TikTok who add one letter and spell it incorrectly, pretending to be me, trying to sell people dodgy Bitcoin. Anyway, you are safe in Portugal, Renato. No one is bombing you there. That's right. Safe. Isn't Nvidia earning soon? Stephen Rowe, I'm not covering Nvidia tonight. Not covering Nvidia.
Meeting friendly leaders at the opening of the...
That's not news we need. I like your perspective, Martin. Thank you, Steezy G. Talking about MSN. I'm not sure what that means. You're safe in Portugal. Have a good night, Martin, and everyone else. Looks like Baron Hanley has to go. Let's do it, Martyn Lucas. Let's get a good song out of you this afternoon. All right. Monty Python, always look on the bright side of life. Brilliant. Okay. All right. Feel like Fox News here. It's like Fox News. I've no idea. It's the BBC or Sky News. Unlike Fox News or CNN, whichever news you watch, you can't call in and have your say, can you? Whereas on this channel, you can. Martin, stream media, they pump negative news to get us glued to... Oh, yes. Mainstream media. Yes, they do. I am from Portugal, but I live in Switzerland, so I'm safe here, right? You certainly are. You certainly are. There's no issue whatsoever for you. Got Mount Pilatus. I've been to Mount Pilatus. I did a gig up there. Beautiful place. We're waiting for more news to come in. And as soon as I get the news, I'll share it with you. Life is full of shill when you look at it. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. I know where you're going with that. All right. Okay. Okay. So I tell you what we're going to do then. We are going to end the show right there. And we are going to keep the news on the screen. But I'm going to go over to the studio. And I am going... Martin is voice of the elite. Someone said on TikTok, Martin is voice of the elite. I'm not quite sure I know what that means. But anyway, I'm going to do some music for you right now. So everybody on TikTok, you didn't want to come to YouTube, so I'm going to take you with me on my phone, and you can see it on TikTok. All right, we're going to go over here. Here we go. And I'm going to do a piece of music in my studio for everybody. I'm going to keep the news on the screen, and we're going to do this right now, okay? Here we go. We're going to end the show with a piece of music. I know exactly what I want to do. And here we go. Let's go and do that now. All right. So we're going to keep the news on the screen in case we get any information. And we're going to go over now to the studio. If we get any information at all, it will come up on the screen and I'll share it with you. But that's what we're going to do now. Okay. So here we go. Everybody on TikTok, you can come with me. All right. You can come with me over here. All right. I'm going to plug you in over here. I don't know why you wouldn't come onto YouTube. Would have made my life easier. All right. There you go. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. Let's do this. Turn this round. Okay. So, I think we're just about there now. All right. So I've now moved over to this part of the studio. Let me just tweak the camera a little bit. And take it over there. Just a tad. Okay. So, we're going to finish up our show right now. We're going to keep the news on the screen in case there's any further developments, but we are going to finish up with this one now, and just to bring some music into today, and then we're going to end with this. And here we go.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. 'Cause a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sounds of silence. Restless dreams I walk alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. 'Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp, where my eyes were flashed by the flash of the neon light that split the night and touched the sounds of silence. In the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sounds of silence. Fools, you said you do not know, like a cancer grows. Hear the words that it was forming, and the words that it was forming, and the signs of the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. Tenement halls disturb the sounds of silence, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out of its warning, and the words that it was forming, and the words of the prophet are written on the subway walls. Tenement halls disturb the sounds. For all our friends in Ukraine, of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to a neon god they made, and the sign flashed out of its warning in the words that it was forming, and the lines of the words are written on the subway walls. Tenement halls disturb the sounds of silence. Here's a song. This is a song going out to Russia. This song is to Russia. This is for all of you, Vladimir Putin, and all of your people. Here we go. This is the road to hell. Standing by the river, but the water doesn't flow. It pours every poison you can think of. When I'm underneath the street lights, the delight of joy unknown, scared beyond belief, way down in the shadows. Down in the shadows, and the perverted fear of violence chokes a smile on every face. Common sense is ringing out the bells. This ain't no technological breakdown. Oh no, Russia, you are on the road to hell. Credit, there is nothing you can do. It's all bits of paper flying away from you. FTX, now look out world, take a good look down here. Oh yeah, oh Russia, you are on the road to hell. This ain't no technological freeway. Oh no, this is the road to hell. Well, this is the road to hell. Well, I'm standing here in Ukraine, and the water doesn't flow. It boils with every poison you can think of. Now I'm underneath the street light, the light of joy I've known. Scared beyond belief, way down in the shadows. And the perverted fear of violence chokes a smile on every face. Common sense, it is ringing out the bells. This ain't no technological breakdown. Oh, Russia, you are on the road to hell. There is nothing you can do. It's all bits of paper flying away from you. Look out, world, take a good look down here. You must learn this lesson fast and learn it well. This ain't no technological freeway. Oh no, this is the road. This is the road. This is the road to hell. You may use this music any way you like, absolutely fine. There's a pair of scissors under the video, you can clip it, no problem at all. Walking on cobblestones, little bit of skin and bones. Jumping on a tram car for a ride. I can remember then, I was just a boy of 10, hanging around the old quayside. Now all the capstans and the cargo boats and stevedores are gone to where the old ships go, just like memories, like the seas live on. That was when Ukraine was king and things were a living thing. I was just a boy, but it was mine. Ukraine time. For this is a big, big country. I want you all to know that I was proud. For this was a big, big country, not so long ago, not now, just not now. My father was a working man. He made a living with his hands. He crossed the river every day. He picked up the Union card out of the Neptune yard. Mouths to feed and bills to pay. There came a time for him to sail across the sea and far away. Finally, when the war was won, you brought him home, and home it stayed. And when the days were done, underneath the golden sun, back to where he longed to be, back to the sea. For this was a big river, not so long ago, and I was proud. For this was a big, big country, but that was long ago. That's not now. That's not now. Neptune was the last to go. I heard it on my radio. Then they played the greatest number one. What do I do all day? What am I supposed to say? What does a father tell his son? If you believe that there's a bond between our future and our past, try to hold on to what we had. We built Ukraine, we built to last. For this was a mighty town, built upon a solid ground. And everything they tried so hard to kill, we will rebuild. For this was a